So let's say you found out what your seasonal color palette is, right? Or at least you have a general direction. Now, what are you gonna do with all these colors in your closet that are not in your season? You could take a drastic step and just toss everything out, or you could incorporate these steps into your makeup routine that I'm gonna share with you today so that you can still wear all the colors in your closet that are outside of your seasonal palette. Even if you don't know what your season is, understanding the theory of what I'm about to share with you today will change the way you think about the colors that are sitting in your closet. So keep on watching if you want to learn how. Okay, so in my previous video, I talked about why you're so confused between warm and cool colors when it comes to deciding on the colors that look best on you. And to give you a quick summary, it's because your skin tone might not be the type that's the most sensitive to the temperature of a color, but without a good understanding of how color analysis actually works, you're just blindly following these typical steps or tests that people tell you to follow. I mean, of course, you're gonna get confused. And here's the thing, because you don't really know what you're looking for to begin with, your closet is probably already filled with these random colors that you're not even sure anymore if they look good on you or not, so they just end up collecting dust. And to explain how you can fix this problem and how you can mitigate the more unflattering effects of certain colors that may not belong in your season, we need to cover the very basics of color theory, and specifically we need to talk about complementary colors. Complementary colors are colors that sit on the opposite ends of the color wheel, and when they're mixed together, they're meant to neutralize or cancel each other out. And this is the basis of how color correctors work for your makeup. Complementary colors are used to subdue any unwanted tones that show up in your skin. So for example, if you have any redness in your skin because of conditions like acne or rosacea, a green color corrector would offset that redness in your skin because green and red are complementary colors. If you regularly use color correctors, this theory is probably nothing new to you. So then, how do we incorporate this same theory into our outfits? Since we're on the topic of color correcting, let me start with talking about how you can use different color correctors when you're wearing the wrong temperature of a color in your outfit. I explained the effects of warm and cool colors against my own skin in my previous video, and I talked about how as an olive skin tone that has both yellow and blue present in the skin, what happens to me when I wear warm colors is that the yellow in my skin gets highlighted more, so my skin appears warmer, whereas when I wear a cooler color, the blue undertones are highlighted more, but it also subdues the yellowish appearance of my skin, and my skin appears a little more neutral. And I also mentioned how these effects, when the effects themselves are not very substantial, it can sort of depend on your personal preference to a degree, because you might like the warmth of the yellow that's being highlighted more, or you might like the fact that your skin appears a little more neutral despite the darkness of the blue that gets a little more emphasized. But even for me, I can't do very warm colors because then the yellowness that's highlighted in my skin starts to look a little overwhelming and less flattering. And same thing with very cool colors. It brings out too much blue and I start to look kind of pale and lifeless. So essentially, if the color is too warm for you, you'll notice what happens to your skin tone visually is that the skin appears very yellow to the point where it starts to look more sallow and sort of unhealthy. And if you notice those kinds of effects appearing on your skin tone, then going back to the theory of complementary colors, what you can do to help with mitigating this effect is to use a purple or a lavender color corrector that can help with neutralizing the excess yellow. On the other hand, if the color is too cool for you, then the effect the color has on your skin is that it makes your skin appear very pale and lifeless, almost like an ashy appearance. And again, the skin will start to look unhealthy, not because it appears sallow, but because it's more pale and ashy in a kind of a lifeless way. So if you notice that a cool colored top brings out that ashiness in your skin because of the blue that's being highlighted more in your skin, then you can use an orange color corrector to offset the blue. And a lot of us are already familiar with using an orange color corrector in our under eye area, right? Because our dark circles often show up as blue and we want to offset the excess blue tones with orange. If you think about it, this is a very simple trick that a lot of us that understand color correcting are already using in our makeup routines, but we never really connect the theory to offset the effects of different clothing against our skin tones. And that's mostly because we just don't really know what the visual effects of warm or cool colors have on our skin tone are. So very simply put, the effects are, warmer colors will bring out more yellow in your skin, and cooler colors will bring out more blue in your skin. Where your judgment, and maybe even your preference, comes in is whether that extra yellow or extra blue that gets highlighted in your skin is at a flattering level or not. If the effects in your opinion are too excessive and it's at an unflattering level, then you can use the theory of complementary colors to offset those effects. And I'll be honest and say that this is not a perfect solution because with makeup, it does change throughout the day with sun exposure and smudging and the product just wearing off throughout the day. Whereas if you are wearing the right colors for your skin to begin with, then obviously your clothes are not gonna come off or melt off of your body throughout the day like makeup does. But I'm just trying to encourage you to think about it in a theoretical and a logical way. And I'm telling you what exactly you have to look for rather than just blindly thinking, oh, well, I'm a spring, so I can't wear cool colors. Instead of thinking that way, if you understand what cool colors actually do to your skin tone visually, and if you can kind of gauge what level of cool actually makes your skin appear less flattering than if one day you choose to wear a color that looks a little less flattering on you, you can decide to use certain color correctors for your skin to offset whatever unflattering effect that color has on your skin. And maybe on those days you want to wear a heavier layer of setting powder or pay a little more attention to correcting your makeup more frequently throughout the day. These are small details that you can pay attention to so that you're not necessarily restricting yourself to just wearing colors in your season. You can throw away your favorite top, or you can think about how these theories actually work so that you can still allow yourself to wear a wider spectrum of colors that exist in your closet already. Okay, so we've covered the temperature of colors and how to offset the effects of the wrong temperature of a color against your skin. So that leaves us with value and clarity, and what do we do with that? Again, with these characteristics, we also have to understand the effects of light or dark colors or bright or muted colors on our skin. Let's start off with value, so whether you look better in colors that contain white or black. The effect of a lighter color against your skin is that it brightens your skin overall. But when it's unflattering on you, what happens is that your facial features are gonna appear a little more blurred. And what I mean by that is the lines of your facial features will appear less clear or vivid. For people that look good in lighter colors, this brightening and the blurring effect works harmoniously with your features. But if the lighter colors are not for you, then that blurring effect is gonna make your face lose presence. On the other hand, with darker colors, if the darkness is too much for you, and where it gets unflattering is if the darkness weighs you down and brings out the shadows of your face more. So areas like the edges of your face or where there's any hollowness, those shadows you'll notice, they'll appear darker if the color is too dark for you, and it's gonna look like the color is weighing your whole face down. So considering these effects, if the color is too light for you and you're losing a lot of that vividness or the contrast that's supposed to bring more attention and clarity to your facial features, then wearing a bolder style of eye or lip makeup that defines your features more, or heavier contouring, or any styles that can bring a little more emphasis to your facial features is what you would need. Opposite to that, if you feel like a very dark color tends to bring out the shadows of your face more, then paying more attention to the overall skin coverage for the day, or going a little easier on contouring and avoiding very heavy or dark styles of eye and lip makeup can help with offsetting that unflattering effect to an extent. Now, with the clarity of the colors, what happens when a bright or a clear color doesn't work with your skin tone is that the color is going to look really separated from you, and it's gonna look like the color is just sitting on top of you. So a really good way to tell if a bright color is working for you or not is to see when you look in the mirror or when you look at a photo of yourself, if you notice the color first or if you see the face first. You might think that a bright color is naturally gonna draw more attention regardless, but when you look at people in bright or clear seasons, the colors don't overwhelm them regardless of how bright they are. On the other side, with more soft or muted colors, if the clarity level is not working for you, then your skin especially is gonna appear really dull and dry. Not like in a clean, matte finish sort of way, but more like your skin hasn't been exfoliated or moisturized for a very long time. So with these cases, like I said, the overall skin texture is going to be impacted a lot visually. So if you notice that your skin is appearing really dull from wearing a very soft or a muted color, then using a glowy or a dewy finish in the skin or a glossy lip texture can help with adding more of that healthy looking glow back to your face, and it's going to help you appear a little less like a zombie. Or if you find that a bright color tends to overwhelm you and your face kind of recedes from the color, then using more colorful or bolder styles of eye and lip makeup to match the intensity between your outfit and your face can also be a way to balance out that emphasis. Like I said, with makeup, because it kind of changes throughout the day, the offsetting effect is not going to be as permanent as wearing a piece of clothing in the right temperature value and clarity. So I would consider these suggestions as more of a workaround solution to wearing colors outside of your season. But I hope that this gives you a chance to think about the actual effects of the wrong colors on you so that you can find ways to mitigate those effects and utilize the colors in your closet a little more freely than being stuck only to the colors in your season. I hope you found today's content helpful. If you did, don't forget to press those like and subscribe buttons before you go, and I'll see you in my next video. Until then, stay unique and stay gorgeous. Until then, stay unique and stay gorgeous. Okay, fine, I'm done for the day, all right?